Focused listening. Listening is a skill that most of us have not developed, and that is a real culture killer. So, what does it mean to focus listen? It's practicing fully listening to team members without interrupting or planning your response. Without planning your response while they're talking. This is tough for me. Welcome back to the Culture Base Podcast. I'm Dustin. He's Blake. We are the Culture Base. Episode 87. Today, we're going to talk about a different, unique approach on workplace culture. We're going to talk about mindfulness and how it plays a role in enhancing workplace culture. But before we get into that, I want to remind you that we're here to help leaders know what they're about, show where they're going, and develop a scalable team to get them there. If you'd like our help with that, we'd love to help you. You can reach us at theculturebase.com. That's BASE. Would love for you to subscribe on YouTube if you're watching, like and review as well. That would be super helpful. And then if you're listening to this podcast, would love for you to rate and review it as well. That really just helps get this content out further to those like yourself who can benefit from it. Speaking of benefiting from things, we would love for you to benefit from our free ebook, the Scalability Playbook. This is proven methods to scale your team. It's already getting 5-star reviews. You can get your free copy at theculturebase.com/resources. That's theculturebase.com/resources for your free ebook, the Scalability Playbook. Super practical. Would love to gift that to you and your team. Just go there to get your copy today. And before we get into it, also want to remind you, you can follow us on social media to see little clips and shorts and all these different things that we're dropping all the time. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn at The Culture Base. That's BASE. All right, let's get into today's episode. We're talking about mindfulness and its role in the workplace, Blake. And I wanted to start just because I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty or lack of clarity around what this whole mindfulness thing is. I think for me personally, just to give it a personal testimony, like when I first heard the mindfulness term, I kind of got it like confused, I should say, with some kind of like Zen meditation out of body practice. And that's not what mindfulness is. I know it might sound like that, but that's not what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is strictly just a mindset and a present mindset. So let me give you a couple definitions here of mindfulness. It's the mental practice of one of my favorite words in the English language, intentionally focusing your attention on the present moment while you calmly acknowledge and accept your thoughts and feelings and sensations without judgment. You acknowledge those thoughts and feelings and sensations for what they are, rather than owning them into your own psyche and saying, this is who I am now because I feel like this. This is who I am now because this happened. That's not true. It's often described as a form of non-judgmental awareness. So if you just want a simple definition, non-judgmental awareness, or what I say is it's a mental form of self-control. It's self-control, not in the physical, but it's self-control in the mental. And Brene Brown, who we love here at the podcast, wrote an amazing book that all leaders and humans should read called Rising Strong. And she says this about mindfulness. She says that mindfulness means maintaining a moment-by-moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and the surrounding environment. Mindfulness also involves acceptance, meaning that we pay attention to our thoughts and feelings without judging them, without believing, for instance, that there's a right or a wrong way to think or feel in a given moment. There's no right or wrong. It just is what it is. It's a thought, it's a feeling, and that you can observe it for what it is what she says. So anything you would add into this topic, Blake, before we get into the problem?
Nah, I think we're good.
Cool. Let's get into the problem.
So when we think about mindfulness,
ooh,
right,
see what you did there?
Kobe. See if you like it. Alley-oop.
Is that alley-oop?
I
I
know
like
that
that.
was my alley-oop
Yeah.
hand
How to
motion there.
okay, how to get
You're
that.
all missing out if you're not watching this.
You are. Get on the YouTubes.
I think a part of this is that we have what's estimated over 60,000 thoughts a day. I don't know a leader who can even manage their inbox, and I'm gonna tell you that's not 60,000 that you get every day.
Mhm.
So, it's very it is true that not all of those thoughts are Dustin's favorite word, intentional. They happen. They're outside sources. They're different, quick emotional thought. I mean, that's why Brene Brown's right there says don't believe everything, right? Like we don't have to believe whatever just came into our head, and it doesn't have to mean something in that moment. In fact, I tell a lot of my team that I often don't believe the first thought I have. I challenge the first thought. And I like to really, before I say something in response to something that my first thought have, I love to like, hey, maybe we should talk about this first before I seem
Mm.
like a complete idiot. Okay. And so part of the problem is that I think we don't believe that, like, or we don't know that at least that we have that many thoughts and that we need to be able to be wherever our feet are and be able to
Mm.
respond to things. And so what tends to happen is we become responsive. We're not intentional, we're responsive to whatever we think circumstance is saying. So something happens, it rains. All of a sudden, oh, this is horrible, but I'm supposed to be go golfing. Okay, all that's true right here is that rain is happening. That's it. It's
Mhm.
the only thing true. The other side of that is the farmer says, "Thank God it's raining. We needed this." Okay,
Mm.
mindfulness is being able to separate all the mind trash from the actual truth of what's happening. Okay, so part of that is we need to realize that stuff happens and that our first feeling and response isn't the one we have to buy into. Okay, there are a lot of things that happen at work
Mm.
and where we our vocation is, right? Like we have chronic workplace stress.
Mhm.
Teams suffer from burnout, anxiety, their performance drops. Like this is just part of it. Not saying that we fix, oh, let's make it not stressful. I don't think that's the answer. Okay. I think being able to sit in a place where you're holding stress in one hand and opportunity in another is the best place, right? Like we can hold stress in our hands and say it doesn't mean anything about me. I think sometimes we have to feel like if I have stress, it means that I'm a horrible person or I'm never going to amount or I'm not good enough. All those were just like 30 thoughts I had in my mind in a split second. Like
Mm.
you're telling me that I gotta sit here with all of this going on and be a healthy person at the same time? Not without mindfulness, you won't.
Mm.
Okay, so that's a problem. We've got just attention fragmentation. Like we got constant distractions. People think multitasking is a great idea. It's not. Okay, you can do context switching or contact switching, which is different. Multitasking is trying to like do everything at the same time. You can go from, hey, I'm going to focus on this. Now I'm going to focus on this. Now I'm going to focus on this. That's contact switching. If you're like, I'm going to do this part, and this part all at the same time, and then I'm going to go to the no, you won't be able to focus and get good, um,
Results.
good reward on what you want. Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. And so then we just have absolute disconnection. So team members are going to struggle to connect authentically, just around all this fast paced confusion and environment. And the problem here is that all of this that happens, if we can't be mindful, they're never going to be able to hear the right stuff. They're just going to
Mm.
be trying to do anything they can. Your team is, you are, and we can't focus on the right stuff. Mindfulness brings meaningful focus. That's what's good about mindfulness. So, you have anything on the problem?
Nope. I got some good solutions though. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
All right. So this section, I want to be a little more practical um, in nature. So it may cross over into some action steps a little bit. So if it does, I apologize for that. But I think a lot of times when we talk about mindfulness and we go, yeah, but how do I do that?
Mm,
I don't even know where to begin. I want to share with you just 5 quick ways that you can practice mindfulness yourself as an individual. And if the whole team does this, you will begin to see it reflected in your culture. I
mm,
guarantee it. So, first one, mindful pausing. So, what it looks like is you're going to take a deliberate pause before responding in meetings. or emails or difficult conversations. I know I'm stepping on toes. I'm stepping on my own here. Take a moment before you respond. This helps because it helps prevent reactive behavior and it promotes publicly thoughtful responses. So just take a deep breath for 3 to 5 seconds. Silently ask yourself what's really needed right now. Not what will make you feel good or better about the situation, because that's often a lie. But what is really needed in this moment? So mindful pausing. Second thing, focused listening. Listening is a skill that most of us have not developed. And that is a real culture killer. A real culture killer. So, what does it mean to focus listen? It's practicing fully listening to team members without interrupting or planning your response. Without planning your response while they're talking. This is tough for me. I will often like, and I think I got this from my mom. I could tell, especially later in life, when I was talking to my mom, she wasn't really listening to what I was saying. She was thinking about what she was going to say next. So what she said next was totally out in left field. And I'm like, that's not even what we're talking about. You know what I mean? And it's like I can tell that you're not listening, and that's a big impact on those that are around you. So fully listen without interrupting or planning your response. This builds trust and strengthens communication. And you do this by just maintaining eye contact. I'm going to reward you with 60 seconds of uninterrupted eye contact. It's from a movie. And maintain eye contact. You're going to notice body language, right? Are they smiling? Are they crossing their hands? Are they are they crossing their arms? Are they rolling their eyes? Are they pacing, right? And then you're going to mentally, not verbally, you're going to mentally repeat what they say in your mind to stay present. That's a great way to active listen. Third one, 1 minute breathing. A lot of times we talk about this as a 4 square breathing, right? It's using short, scheduled breathing exercises throughout the day. It reduces stress and it refocuses your attention. So it's called 4 square breathing a lot because you inhale to a count of four, hold it for 4 counts, exhale to a count of four, and then you hold that for a 4 count. Box breathing, 4 square breathing, all of it. But basically, you repeat that for a whole minute to recenter yourself. Fourth one, mindful transitions, right? This is when you use the time between tasks, like Blake was talking about, or meetings, to reset your mental state. Use that time to reset your mental state. This prevents carryover stress and improves focus. You ever gone into a meeting and someone else is in that meeting? They came from another meeting before they got into that meeting and they are not well because of whatever happened in that meeting. And it affects the whole meeting. And now you're like, we shouldn't even have this meeting right now because you're not here. You're still mad about what happened in this other meeting that we weren't in, by the way. So we have no context as to why you're so upset. So take those transitions and just practically speaking, my assistant knows we don't do meetings back to back. I have to have a 15-minute buffer between meetings.
Yeah.
Have to. Can't go from one thing to the next. There's no room for mindfulness transition. And I've got to be able to mindful transition and context transition as well as to what's supposed to happen next. So that prevents carryover stress and improves focus. You can stand up, you can stretch, go for a short walk, short breathing. You can ground a ground exercise. They sell grounding mats that you can put in your office and put at the bottom of your feet to reconnect yourself to the earth's natural energy. And it's just I know it sounds super like weird foo, but trust me, it works. And the last one, super important, gratitude check-ins. Gratitude check-ins. Start or end a meeting with a moment of shared gratitude or appreciation and watch it change the room. You start it with that and you immediately set the tone for the meeting and you end it with that because the last thing is the lasting impression of the meeting. And do you want to send people away from a meeting all pissed off? Wouldn't you rather send them away from being with you super grateful? Imagine how that would shift your workplace culture. So, what that
Yeah.
looks like starting ending meetings with a moment of shared gratitude or appreciation. And this encourages positive thinking and team cohesion. So, you can invite a person on the team to share one they're grateful for or that they're proud of. And you can be the example, whether you're the leader or not. Anything you want to add to any of that, Blake?
Yeah, no, that was good.
I don't really know what action steps we have, but let's get into it.
The thing I've just been chewing on a bunch recently, and I did not create this idea, but like as goes the leader, so goes the team.
Yep.
So nobody will out passion the standards I set. Nobody will, like, if I accept mediocrity, they're going to accept mediocrity. So we got to model what we're talking about. We got to model mindfulness. You can't be like, gosh, I wish you guys would just take a freaking second and think about what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. As I'm like going on a tirade. I didn't stop, take a second.
It's good.
Well, to do this, if you are known to say the phrase, do as I say, not as I do, you're a bad leader. I'll let that hang there for a second. Because if you're not willing to do it, that's not a leader. That's a teller. Okay. That's somebody who just says words to feel good about saying words.
Mm.
That's not a leader. Okay. And I don't care if you're the head of whatever you do, you're not a leader. Leaders are not positional. Okay. Leaders are absolute just who they are, and people follow them. If you're like, yeah, but I'm the CEO, I don't give a rat's ass. You're not a leader. Okay. Let that sit there. Then start going, maybe I need to practice mindfulness. And maybe my team, if I want to see this reflected in my team, remember you're a reflection of your team. Then if you want to see that in yourself and you want to see that in your company and you want them to care about truly caring about customers, don't bitch about customers. You want to see them truly care about the work, pay attention to what they're doing.
Mm.
So you can create these rituals without saying, hey, we're going to take a gratitude check. You don't have to say that. That makes it feel weird. And instead, just start doing it. As you walk in, be like, and be authentic. People can smell bullshit, but come up and be like, man, I saw your project on this, and that was awesome. I didn't even think to take that kind of approach. Like, give specifics, just share gratitude. And man, I'm real thankful that you put in that extra work on this thing. I know you didn't have to, or and you could, and I know every non-leader in their mind just said, well, it's their job. Okay, well, hold on. We can still be grateful that they did their job,
Mm.
right? I'm awfully grateful when I walk in one day and one of the restrooms is super dirty, and then the next day it's not. I have a subconscious gratitude to be like, golly, I'm so glad they cleaned this. Like, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
Like, there is there are things that we can be grateful for and then go share that gratitude, even if it's their job. Okay. So I don't really have anything outside of other things you said, Dustin. I just feel like that's an important thing for leaders to hear.
I love it. I love it. I just wanted to wrap up real quick and just kind of go back through the 5 things real quick and just try to give you kind of one word. So pause, listen, breathe, transition, be grateful. That's 2 words, but you get what I'm saying. So pause, listen, breathe, transition, be grateful.
Yeah.
Those are the 5 ways to practice mindfulness in your workplace culture and it will affect the culture. I guarantee you. Try it for 7 days and tell me someone doesn't come up to you and go, what's different? What's different and for the better, right? Not like, what's the matter with you, bro? Right. So that's it for today's episode. Next week, another banger. I cannot wait to get, not next week, next time. We're doing we're doing twice a month right now, but next episode, we will be back. Episode 88, talking about building a culture of accountability without the M word, micromanagement.
Oh,
Booyah. Cannot wait to talk about that next time on the Culture Based Podcast. Y'all have a great week. We'll talk to you then.